We got a holy war in the Middle East. We've got India and Pakistan, World War II. We have Ethan and Ian lobbing rhetorical nukes at each other, content cops. And you know what? I think it made Ralph feel just a little bit jealous. Because, you know, when the king of the sector is not getting his due, he's not getting the attention that he deserves, well, he responds in a way only a king can. Oh, after the death and resurrection of Ethan Ralph in Colombia last weekend, he went silent again for about a day. And like I said, a day without a Ralph tweet, it's sus. Ralph, you know, he can't help himself here. No tweets on the 6th. And everyone was wondering, oh, is he doing another shoot? Is he shooting himself into a mark, into a jabroni shoot or whatever the frick the terms are? But, you know, what does he say when he gets back? I lived, bitch. Home sweet home. So there had to have been a story here, and people were speculating. And look, he says he's going to tell the story on Saturday. We're going to get to hear. But, you know, Ralph, he can't, he always steps on his own toes, right? You know, I'm sure that the story he would have told tomorrow would have been very clean. It would have been about him slaying dragons in Tijuana, getting, you know, hookers for free. Who the fuck knows? But that's Sober Ralph who wanted to tell that story on Saturday. And Sober Ralph isn't the only Ralph. There's also King Ralph, intoxicated King Ralph, who decided to call into freaking Mersha's show last night, I think at like 5 a.m. or something, and spill the beans on what happened. Apparently, in Tijuana, he got beat up, robbed, and arrested. And he apparently sounds pretty fucked in this. So we're just gonna let the man tell it from his own mouth, because he'll tell it in a way that's more entertaining than I ever could. He's like, yeah, you know, we're just two peas in a pod, bro. No, people only watch us because they hate us. Mersh likes to pretend to be some kind of like New York mob boss guy in between stroking out on stream. There's been a couple really funny streams where Ralph will just call into Mersh's show just fucked, and we'll just spurg the fuck out, because this guy, it's like the dumping ground, right? This guy has almost no audience and no one, and the only people who watch him to laugh at him. So, you know, he's one of the few guys that might be lower on the totem pole than Ralph. So, you know, Ralph's got to kind of, like a dog pissing on a tree, mark his territory every so often by coming into the stream and just, you know, just screaming the N-word, TOSing, like the stream, whatever.
I went to Colombia. That was the easy part of my journey. And then I went
to so like I said, like his victory conditions are just survive. It's objective survive. Okay, with Ralph, like just fuck you, A-Logs. I got on a plane and went to a foreign country to hang out with human traffickers, and guess what? I didn't die. Fucking W, man. Massive Ralph victory. I just don't even know how the Cringe Casino and everybody else will recover.
Nice. I guess, you know, if I'm sweet on a girl.
Did you just say maybe I was too nice? Hold on.
You know, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too nice. I guess.
She can burn in hell for all I care. I wish I took her channel down. I'd kill her myself if I was near here. But, you know, maybe I'm being too nice.
Into the Tijuana story, because that's its own arc.
Arc. Imagine getting beat up in a third world country, arrested, and having a seizure, and you're just like, just another arc in the life of the alpha male.
And that's gonna be this part. I walked through Tijuana 12 a.m.
Great choice, man. wakes up in the middle of the night. Time to do my nightly walk through the slums of Tijuana.
Place ever.
When you say that, we know what place it is.
You know what?
Oh no, it's jail.
And then
okay.
Put my hand up on the.
Whoa, jail! He's about to get jailhouse rocked. As Sticks would say.
They like you know I love Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, Hunter S. Thompson. He loves Hunter S. Thompson. He always fails to mention how that story ended, which is him killing himself after living a degenerate life, accomplishing nothing. Not going to make any parallels to Ralph there, but yeah, he really lionizes Hunter S. Thompson, and it doesn't make sense because it's not like he's not an ideational figure. And also, Hunter S. Thompson at least wrote stories and like talked to people, like like he found stuff. Like he was famous for a reason. He went in these weird communities and situations and stuff normal people would never even know existed or see and write about it. This is you just wandering through the slums of Tijuana getting beat up, buddy. This is not gonzo journalism. There's going to be no Pulitzer at the end of the road for you, just jail and addiction.
Do you know what Tusi is?
Yeah, the drug.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, of course.
It's like a research chemical.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
I've never done it. I just know what it is.
I don't know anything about this random drug that I know the name of and I'm probably going to talk about for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, me neither. I've never done it. But,
yeah, okay. Even Merch is like, okay, buddy, yeah. By doing it right now.
MDMA and ecstasy and caffeine, basically, and there's different versions of it, right?
He's like giving you the full rundown. He's like, and this is how you take it, and this is how it makes you feel, and here's all the phases. Never done it though.
And so, of course, I've never done any illegal drugs.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah,
I don't even know what a drug is. But he knows all the versions, all the different colors, and the street lingo, dude. This is like it's like the guy from The Wire, Bubbles, the meth head, coming up to you and talking to you for 40 minutes about meth, and then being like, "Never done it though."
That's what it's just.
I guess they gave him a girl, like a piece of chattel, and he took a picture of like her, but not like her face, and it's like a candid picture. It doesn't look like they're actually interacting. It's like she's just in front of him, and the esteemed people on Kiwi Farms are trying to find out who she was because the angle of the photo made her look kind of weird, look kind of mannish, and so the theory was that she was transgender, and it was kind of an L for Kiwi Farms. I'm not gonna lie, because there's like 20 pages in the Ralph thread that are just people looking at transgender porn and trying to like compare it to this lady's tattoo, and I'm like, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze here, guys. I think this is kind of a self-felt.
No, I was talking to her mostly through the translation app, and she was like,
can you just imagine that? Ethan Ralph, who's like 4'11", she's probably shorter than this girl, sitting with her. She's a prostitute, right? She, to the extent she doesn't care about condoms, and you just got your phone out and you're like, Siri, how to say STD? Like,
you know, I don't know. It was kind of weird because she's like, you know, drugs are bad, and they're actually
the prostitute has better standards than Ralph. Siri, how to say let's get fucked up?
Actually, a mask for I would call her a party girl.
Right.
Yeah, she's a prostitute.
The
like
there. I don't
Look, it's okay to say she's a hooker. You didn't pay for it. It's all good.
Well,
yeah, wow. Tactical truth nuke incoming from Mersh.
I'm not expecting to hear this from this person. And
yeah, that's why it's funny, because you're getting a lesson about sobriety from a Colombian prostitute that you're talking to using Google Translate.
And I trended worldwide on Twitter, 38,000 tweets.
I'm Mr. Worldwide because people thought I was dead and they were happy.
And so,
actually,
you know, and he's just like, I'm all in.
I gotta read some of these just because
he's talking about this like this was like the greatest stunt in his history. Like this is some evil Knievel jump in the Grand Canyon shit. Literally all he did was just not tweet for 3 days. That's all he did. That was the plan. The plan was just don't tweet for 3 days, and because he's so like addicted to Twitter, that alone made people think he was dead.
Yeah, drugs, they're fun, they're cool, but like they're actually a mask for, you know, problems.
You already taught. Okay, this is how you know the Xanax is hitting. He does this. This is not the first time he's done this, where he starts to call and he sounds pretty sober, like fine, and then just slowly, like around, like 40 minutes, you start to notice some things, and you're like, it's like he knows he's going to call and he's going to do something, so he takes like 5 Xannies and then calls. Right? You know, it's like how some people like will take a shot before they like talk to a girl or whatever. You know, to get the liquid courage. He gets like the Xanny courage. He takes his 5 Xannies and then gets in the call. And they take like a while to hit. So like this is like the 3rd time he's repeated like this exact. He's looping.
You know.
Yeah, no shit. That's why we're all fucking narcissists. We all stream for a living, and then we also all hate ourselves. That's why even now I'm not drinking.
Oh my god. damn, I really don't like kind of giving Mersh any points, but like he's just dropping troop after troop.
Fucking 7 tabs like they're going out of style. Well, I never take pictures. I never post on. These niggas don't know shit about my real life.
Okay, that's. I know I gave Mersh a point a minute ago, but that was a giant. That was a rate of nuclear cope right there. People have your whole life story, Mersh, and it's because you put it out there.
What you want to know? Right. And so I had a seizure, and I woke up, and this absolute angel, he was taking care of my knee. My knee's.
Oh my god. He had a seizure and it made him fall in love with a prostitute. Oh my god. Brain damage.
I woke up at night and she said your body was fully purple.
Oh boy. Oh no. Yeah, people have said it a million times that we're entering the final arc of the Ralph Mail, but I don't know, man. It sounds bad.
That's what happens, sometimes when you have a seizure. She's like,
they always say that, and then he always comes back like bigger, like stronger than ever. So, I don't really want to make a prediction, but dude, you're purple. Hey, senor, you oompa loompa, senor.
And
hold on. Here's the other thing. So he has a seizure and turns purple and is like passed out for hours, and no one called the like a ambulance. Like this guy who's supposedly your friend who brought you out here for altruistic purposes. He's just like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. I see it all the time. People pass out.
I woke up and he grabbed me to keep me from hitting my head, and she put me in the.
Okay, so no, he was there. So Hunter was there and just was like, yeah.
Do you know it was the Xanax? Like it wasn't like,
the devil.
It was the Xanax.
It was the Xanax. It definitely wasn't being away for 50 hours or for doing Azul and cocaine and banging a transgender prostitute at the same time. It was the Xanax. It was that I didn't have enough Xanax.
And it was staying up so long.
I gotta get more. This is why I want to live. This is why I'm trying to get healthier, because you know what? I don't care if we're fucking.
I'll say this. I don't have a lot of good things to say about Mersh, but he looks good in this clip. I was making fun of him earlier for cucking the content, but like just to be real for a minute, he's like talking like his actual friend, and it's a shame because Ralph doesn't have real friends. This is why he like turns on people on a dime, and he honestly treats Mersh like shit. He just, like I said, he uses his stream as like a dumping ground. He just will show up and just spurg out, right? But like what Mersh is saying here is kind of like what you would expect an actual friend to say.
It's okay because I've had those before, but she said your whole body was purple. And
that is so crazy, man. It's crazy that your body was purple. You passed out after being like blasted on drugs for 50 hours, and they didn't take you to the hospital. And you think these people are like have your best interest in mind, and this Colombian prostitute who hates drugs while she's smoking a joint is actually like an angel.
I think you need to make an appointment with a doctor and
yeah, no shit. Walks in the doctor. So there I was in Colombia after doing cocaine and Azul for 50 hours and banging some gutter slut who told me that drugs are bad, and I passed out and turned into an oompa loompa. Do you got something over the counter for that?
And I saw my son after that, and my son, I don't get to say that.
Here we go. Ralph always does this, is whenever he like says something or like admits to doing something wrong or like degenerate or whatever, he always wraps it back around to his son, because it's kind of the only sympathetic aspect about him is that he does have kids that he's estranged from due to like the legal process. Now, you could say that that's the system working as intended, right? But in any case, like it is the only really sympathetic part left about his story. So he always wraps the son into it so that it's like a little bow at the end. It's like, well, I may have flown to a human trafficker's compound to do 13 drugs for 50 hours and bang a prostitute, but I just love my son. Like, so that's that. The adventure of Ralph continues. It's just like at any minute, anything could happen. Like he could have died then, like, and anything could happen. And it really does feel sometimes like whenever anything else is happening, like, the Ethiopian shit, whatever, it's like he gets inferiority complex and is like, I'll show them what a real disaster looks like. Passes out, turns into an Oompa Loompa.